It's been a significant amount of time that we've been sort of waiting for any news and information to pop up. I don't think that's specifically a bad thing. I think it just lines up more with the fact that the game is going to be dropping a lot later than we all thought, right? The game is going to be available in a time frame that is much further than that February time frame we were thinking of. Anyway, the Game Informer guys have a quick video that go over some stuff, and Ken has his classic costume, like right here. This dude has his classic costume, which he's looking pretty good from this shot. Even Ryu's classic costume is looking pretty dang snazzy from this. But I think there's some more stuff. I've seen screenshots and things of the like, so let's just fire this up really fast. I just want to see it, because they went all the way over to Japan to get some footage of the game. Oh yeah, and talking about the dynamic mode, which I'll quickly talk about, right? Well, we're gonna get right into God of War, Chad, because we were waiting for it to unlock and it just unlocked. This is reflected in a normal fighting game. There are many scenarios where the player strikes at the opponent and the attack would fail to hit the opponent. So this is their answer, right? Their answer to what is effectively not auto combos, but situational automatic attacking. You know, I wanted something useful to happen just by randomly pushing buttons. For example, a character might approach their opponent and strike them, and they might throw a projectile even if they're far away from the opponent. So situational mashing, context sensitive mashing, right? To the point where for casual appeals, because this is apparently only offline, it only works in an offline environment, and you can't really control exactly what's going to happen. However, right, it's not going to be like, oh, my character's just going to go for an auto combo at full screen. You don't want that. No, you want the character at full screen to throw fireballs or something like that, right? Things need to happen. But people, you know, look at the game and they look at the D-pad and they don't know how to make the D-pad translate to cool stuff. This essentially takes the D-pad out of it. It's a masher's delight. Create a system that would reflect the actions the player wanted to take, even though they might have the skill to do it, you know? The dynamic controls are much easier to use in comparison to the modern and classic control types. And while they can't be used in online matches, they can be used locally when playing versus mode or arcade mode. Fuck around with your friends, right? People that just like watching fighting games and want to see cool stuff happen. And I have to, once again, these devs get it, right? I want to play God of War, I know, but I need to talk about this. These devs really get it, because what is the situation that I've been promoting to a lot of people that is a harsh reality of what the casual perspective of fighting games is. The casual perspective of fighting games is that a very large majority look at competitive fighting games. They don't look the same way at shooters or MOBAs or anything like that. No, those games take real skill. However, a very large amount of people outside the fighting game bubble that we know and exist in think that the harder and faster you mash these buttons, the better you are at the game. Right? These games to this level of audience member is called button mashers, right? Not brawlers, right? No, these games are called button mashers, where if I just cram my face against this the fastest I possibly can, I will do better. And to be completely honest, like, there is a very, very, very large percentage of the audience that buys these games that actively thinks that. So this is them specifically. In other words, Scrubs, you are so far off. Scrubs is like the upper less than 5% echelon of people that actually have figured out the game but think they're better than they actually are. A scrub is somebody that is substantially, like, actually kind of decent, but they're just trash because they can't get any better, right? That's what a scrub is. This is like the 90+% of other people that play fighting games that just like to see cool shit happen, right? And those are the people that think you just mash this controller as hard as you can and you're gonna get that's what makes you good at this stuff, right? No. These are not scrubs. This is completely the absolute barrier of a casual player, right? This is actual casuals is what they're talking about, and that's what these devs are addressing right here. So it only works offline in an arcade mode. The two modes that are going to be played the most by casual players. The idea was to present an intuitive attack, a dynamic action just by pressing a button. There were various candidates, but the name Dynamic was chosen. The end result for those players to be able to fight effectively just by mashing a button. Because what happens if you're just mashing a button from full screen? Nothing interesting happens, right? Your character's just flailing around trying to do an auto combo that doesn't land or anything that doesn't exist. So it's like contextual dynamic mashing. Not to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, we'll just throw in an auto combo and that solves the casual problem, right? No, that actually does not solve the problem. It just makes the auto combo better for the people that are actually good at the game. Because in no situation would anybody that actually knows how to play Street Fighter, or even is a scrub or anything like that, would want to use this. You're losing control of your character for the sake of you just doing cool looking stuff. Yeah, and the character does different things depending on the distance. This is I saw the GIF of this on Twitter. It's like easy combos from KI, completely different. Because KI easy combos, you have to land the combo. You have to get close to the opponent to do stuff. This is true mashing. Luke is currently being operated by 1 or 2 buttons. Ryu is operated by the other developer. And it works. This is like drinking party mode. It's silly. Like, it's silly. And you know what? Who gives a shit? Is it going to be like the competitive standard? Is it going to be the way people will choose to play the game all the time? Absolutely not. But this is like the perfect, like, oh, we're going to have the new Street Fighter game at my house, buddy. Come check it out. And we have no idea. These guys have no idea how to throw a fireball. They don't know what charging is. They don't know any of that shit. But when they fire up the game, they're going to see cool stuff happen. And that's completely fine. There is no reason to have the game be like the new competitive standard in every single way. This is optional, absolutely, and it's only available offline. It's specifically made for like frat bro night. It's made for little brother mode. It's made for my niece is coming over and wants to be involved in some way. That's great because these devs understand that a huge percentage of people that play fighting games are that. A huge percentage of people that play fighting games just like to see cool shit happen and not want to think or have to get any better. And guess what? That's completely fine. Because those people that don't want to think about getting any better, that just want to support the franchise and just like Street Fighter, are actually the ones that keep the franchise alive. They're actually the reason why the franchise will continue to get more updates and big games like this in the future. So that's a relationship that needs to exist. You need the absolute barrier, like the lowest entry level casual player, to at least have some fun, to want to learn how to do that stuff eventually. It's super important. Each button actually has a different function. We're expecting the players who use this control type won't think about those rules. Smart. We want something interesting to happen without them worrying about it. Fuck around and just have fun mode. And the fact that it's for arcade mode and stuff like that is fantastic. So, yeah, it's represented up here D, it says dynamic. So there's like classic, there's C, there's M, and there's D. Yeah, and look, cool stuff is happening, right? I wonder if it changes on the fly, right? I wonder if other stuff actually does change in between. Anyway, it just shows off that fact that, yeah, this actually works. They did not like specifically just throw in a weird gimmick just to appease casuals. No, they put some thought into this in the same way that like we're just going to add an auto combo for casuals, which is what a lot of fighting games do. They put a lot of thought into it, and that sort of echoes back even to, I mean, I hate to say it again, Killer Instinct put a lot of thought into how its simple combo system would work without taking away the complexity of how it has worked before. So this is great, right? This is just something that's super, super sick.